This video guide for Final Fantasy XIV is going to show you a quick way to level up mining to 50. I just hit level 50 myself, so I wanted to go through and put together a video with the leveling tips I used and the path I used to get up to 50 quickly without using too many leves. So the first thing we want to discuss is some experience points tips, and what we can do here is that the quartermaster for whatever your grand company is, under material you can buy something called the company issue survival manual. It'll give you up to 40,000 bonus experience points in 2 hours. So you really want to buy that for the lower levels. In particular, you can use one and it will take you all the way from levels 1 to 15, and you'll be getting bonus experience points the entire time. Meanwhile, if you use it at level 49, it's only worth about a third of a level before it wears off. So basically, I like to use those up until about level 30. About 4 or 5 total will get you there, and it'll make the leveling process much smoother. After that, unless you have a lot of seals to blow, it's not really worth it, because for the same reason, you can always use those seals on the engineering manual. The other item that's in there is for crafting, so you can level up all your crafting classes pretty easy. So you don't want to waste your seals if you don't have to. So use the survival manual. The next step we're going to do is talk about gear. Pretty much anything that gives you gathering or perception is going to be worthwhile. None of these slots do. They give GP, which is nice but not necessary. But these slots are all what is important. Basically, the higher your gathering gets, the better your chance of success for mining, and the higher your perception gets, the better your chance of getting a high quality item is with mining. That high quality items cap at 15%. There seems to be no cap for gathering until you get up to 100% success rate. So as you'll notice, all my gear is high quality. If you have the gil, once you reach level 30, if you have the gil and you're just trying to level up mining quickly, you want to get the high quality version. You'll see that the high quality pick I have here has 88 gathering, whereas a level 48 weapon, which is 5 levels higher, actually has less gathering because it's the normal quality. So a high quality item literally gives you like gear that's 5 or 6 levels higher if it was normal quality. So it just makes everything much faster. So try to get good gear if you can afford it. Even if you can't afford the high quality stuff, at least get the normal quality that's level appropriate. Get gear regularly because it makes a big difference. Additionally, you'll want to get food. Now the tomato pie seems to be pretty cheap, at least on my server. I was able to get a stack of 99 for about 25,000 gil. And it might sound like a lot, but you have to consider that as you're leveling up mining, just leveling off of, if you grind on silver ore, mithril ore, electrum ore, or black alumin, you'll make at least 25,000 gil per hour. So literally 1 hour of leveling mining will get you a stack of 99 tomato pies, and that's enough literally to take you from 1 to 50, and you'll probably have some left over. So there's no reason not to buy some food. If you can't buy it at first, like I said, once you start leveling up of iron ore or silver ore, you'll have the money. So the final leveling tip is going to be what's called a provision mission. If you click on the duty thing down here and go to timers, you'll see this thing called a provision mission. You can turn in these items once a day and get a bonus amount of experience points. And provision missions are worthwhile only once you reach like level 30. Before then, it's just not really worth the time to go out of your way unless you don't have to go out of your way to get the items. So those items, the NPC for turning in those items seems to be any leveling camp, and I'll show you as I head over to Drybone here. Letting it load. So basically, one thing I did want to mention is that if you turn in high quality items, you will get bonus experience points. And if you have a star next to the item, you'll get even more experience points. So you always want to make sure you turn in high quality items if that's possible with that item type. It just makes things much quicker. Okay, so in any given camp, you will see this person here, the Flame Sergeant, if you're from Ul'dah, and this person will take your provision missions. So you can turn in your items this way. So I don't have the items, but you can see they reset at 5 a.m. So you can do them every day. There's no reason not to. So that's it. And the next thing I want to discuss is leves. So leaves are pretty much the fastest way to level, but you only get so many of them. As you can see, I only have 12. You get about 6 per day, but if you want to level from 1 to 50 on a gathering class, it literally requires about 200 to 250 leaves, and this is after the buff, the recent buff to experience. So unless you're planning on leveling up mining, 10 days worth of leaves, that's only 60 leaves. So unless you're planning on leveling up mining over the course of a couple months, you're going to have to grind a good bit. So what I'm going to recommend is actually using your leaves sparingly, and I'll discuss camps really quickly. So for levels 10 and up, 10 to 15, you're going to go to Western Thanalan, Camp Horizon. At 15, Camp Drybone. At 20 is where things you have to start traveling, and the leaves start to be shared among all the classes, as in at Quarrymill you can get botany and mining leaves. This is in the South Shroud. This has level 20 and level 25 leaves. So from here you're going to go to La Noscea at Costa Del Sol. That's going to be for level 30 leaves. Then I believe you go to Coerthas. Okay, so the Observatorium has level 35 leaves, and Whitebrim Front has level 40 leaves. And finally, the last set of leaves for level 45 is going to be at Coinach. Find. So those are all the leave locations, and I'll post a link to my blog post in the description that has all this listed out in case you don't hear it. So from levels 1 to 7, or let me take a step back. So you know where all the leaves are, and you know they're the fastest way to level, but I've also said that you'll run out of leaves if you want to level up mining. It just takes too many. So what I recommend doing is doing a good amount of grinding off of just mining in a set location, especially through the lower levels, because you can grind from 1 to 15 in an hour or two, and that's about the same amount of time it takes to do leaves. It might even be actually slower to do leaves. Meanwhile, from levels 49 to 50, grinding it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, whereas with leaves it takes about 20 to 25 minutes. So you really start to save time if you can save your leaves for the higher levels. So what we're going to do is, I recommend grinding from levels 1 to 7 anywhere you want. Just head outside of any major town, you'll find nodes, and you can just level up off of crystals. The shards tend to be particularly valuable, whereas copper ore is worthless. You can buy it for a gil or two off the NPC. So if you want to make some money leveling from 1 to 7, just mine shards, whatever shard type you want. So once you reach level 7, the experience point drop-off for shards is pretty quick. So we're going to recommend heading over to Western Thanalan, in this camp here, where my mouse is, just south of the East Hammer. From level 7 to 9, there's tin ore. You can level off that, and once you reach level 9, you can level up zinc ore, same camp, and once you reach level 10, you can mine obsidian ore, and you can mine obsidian ore all the way to level 13. So that's this little camp right here by the East Hammer. And once you hit level 13, you're going to come up to here to Copperbell Mines, where you can get iron ore. We're actually going to grind off of iron ore in this little camp until level 18. You're going to be able to make some gil selling that iron ore, and there's no enemies in this area, and the spawns are all really close, so it's pretty nice. I try to skip this kind of midway area here by the Royal Alagan Sunway, just because there's pestes in the area, or however you say that word, and they're aggressive, so it's just slow, and the mines are spread out, so stick to the Copperbell Mines. Okay, so once you reach level 18, we're going to head over to Eastern Thanalan, and just northeast of Camp Drybone, again the Royal Alagan Sunway. In this area right here, there are 4 nodes that offer alumin, which is somewhat valuable because a lot of workers use it, so you'll make some good money mining that, and you can grind up to level 23 there. So from 23 to 25, at this point I actually recommend doing leaves if you can afford it, because the leveling camp is just not great here that I recommend. So you can go to Quarrymill and do the level 20 leaves and just quickly move between levels 23 and 25. Otherwise, in this general region here, you'll find some nodes where you can mine silver sand It's at X23, Y21, so right here. This region is silver sand, but it's not my favorite camp, and I would do leves if you can to 25. If you don't have many to spare, go ahead and save them. So once you hit 25, you can come over to this upper paths area here, just northeast of Buster on Struthers, and you'll find silver ore. Silver ore is particularly valuable because goldsmiths use it to level off of. It's generally worth like 2 to 3k a stack, and the high quality stuff usually goes for 6 or 7k. So you can actually make about 100,000 gil here if you grind from levels 25 to 29. And you can stay there the whole time. So from level 29 to 33, at this point, grinding is slow. You can do it. I would definitely recommend doing provision missions in leves. That's your best bet. So if you really want to grind, you can head to La Noscea and go to upper. And at X12 and Y25, sorry. Okay, so this general region here, you're going to find brimstone. You can mine that until level 33. Again, I skipped this with leaves because this is just not a great, it's just not a great ore, it's just not a great mining area to me. So once you hit 33, you can go to Thanalan, in southern Thanalan, in the Sigoli Desert. Down in this little pocket here, you'll find mithril ore. You can actually grind off mithril ore from 33 to 39, and that's easy grinding. I actually grinded most of my way through there, and I probably made a few 100,000 gil in the process. It is kind of slow, so if you do have leaves, you can spend them. Okay, so from 39 to 43, we're back to Quarrymill. And in this cave here, you'll find black lumen, and you can ride that from 39 to 43. It's pretty profitable because a lot of the workers use it. The high quality stuff in particular sells for a good amount, so I like using that. And again, if you have provision missions and leaves, you can use those. So from level 43 to 50, you're going to head to, I believe it's going to be, yes, Camp Bronze Lake in Upper La Noscea. Right in this region here, you're going to find electrum ore. Now, electrum ore tends to be the most valuable of the ores. On my server, sometimes it sells for up to 45 gold each, and that's not including the high quality stuff. So at 4 to 5k a stack, plus bonus for high quality, it's worth a good amount of money. So I really like that. There's no enemies in the area. The nodes are a little spread out, but it's pretty quick. Again, if you have leaves and provisions, go for it. I don't recommend going over to any level 50 mining areas because there's too many aggressive enemies around, and cobalt ore is just not worth much, so the cobalt ore camps I just don't recommend. I'd stay on electrum ore all the way to 50 and do leaves as you get them, and you can power through to 50 pretty quickly. So that's really it for the guide. Once you hit level 50, there's a whole other aspect of mining, which I'm going to work on exploring now, and I'll put together a video for later. I need some better gear before I go ahead and do that and finish my quests and get my weapon and whatnot. So once I get that together and figure everything out, I'll put together another video for level 50 mining and farming with mining to make gil. So look forward to that one, and I hope this video is helpful.